So you're scrolling through social media and you're looking at these amazing overhead shots, whether it's food spreads that you're seeing of all the delicious things, it's beauty spreads, not that much for me, but what about a good old-fashioned gear spread? Now let me take you behind the scenes of a shoot I did for a client of mine and show you what my process was like from, well, going from a more DIY setup to now a more professional setup. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that this video here is sponsored by Skillshare, and I got a really awesome deal for my viewers right coming up after the intro.
1, 2, 3, listen.
See the setup behind me? All the things you saw from the intro. There's a lot of stuff going on, and that's for a future episode. But for the ones that are new here, hi, welcome, I'm Tom, and this is my creative quest. This is my pursuit of creativity. I used to be a marine biologist, which is something completely different than all the stuff that I'm teaching you here on the channel. And I gotta admit, I wouldn't have been here without the help of today's sponsor. So I was really stoked when they hit me up. So whether you just started on your creative journey like I did a few years ago, or you're already a creator, but it's always important to improve yourself and improve your skills. And on the platform, you can do that. You can pick into like 25,000 classes or something, and you get that from the best experts there are. For me, that's like a no-brainer. I used to have the premium membership, which gave me access to all of that and like the community and everything that was going on the platform. And at less than $10 a month, it's like really cheap to start learning your new skills and like develop your career you want to go to. And that's really important for me. Now, for the ones that actually want to try this out and want to do something with their lives, I got you a sweet deal together with Skillshare. First 500 people who use the link down in the description below, they get access for 2 months free of premium Skillshare. That's just 2 months that you can use to learn all about filmmaking, all about photography, storytelling. I mean, I just wish I got something like this when I was starting out. So for this shoot for Narbox, also kudos for them for letting me show you all of this, all of these behind the scenes. We actually planned all of it up front. We had inspiration shots, which were more like, this is how we want it to be looking like. We had choices on the backdrop and information about the eventual format of the picture or video that we were going to make. Is it gonna be a 1x1 square photo for Instagram, a portrait version to have more real estate? Do we want a landscape for a banner or something? A gear list, like having all the materials up front, knowing these are the things that we want to have in the shot. These are things you have to keep in mind before you start doing all of that. Now, the second part is actually one of my favorite things to play around with, and that's the backdrops or the background. So whatever you want to call it, the stuff that's behind the picture that you're taking. See, when you have all of your product laying there, you have to make sure that it contrasts with the stuff that it's laying on. I've played around with a lot of different types of background. I've done paper backgrounds, wooden backgrounds, more wooden backgrounds, marbles. But for this assignment and this work, I've actually chosen like a little bit more of a vinyl backdrop, which is used in photography as well. And with this is actually a duo, so I got different types of wood. It's really nice to work with this, although this is really big because we had a big setup going on. So how about that overhead rig? I needed something a little bit more reliable and something a little bit more sturdy that I could leave for a few days in the studio without it moving or the camera moving, so I could just keep continuing. So I chose for 2 different setups, being the first a small table setup and the second a double setup. The small table setup is something which you can use for a place like this, and it's really simple. It's only 3 things that you need. It's gonna be a C-stand, which is like a heavy universal lighting stand that is gonna be used in film and photography world. You need an extension arm. Then lastly, a tripod plate to attach that camera. It takes an investment, and I put some links down below for you guys to get you started. However, if you have a background which is much bigger, so the one C-stand doesn't work, and for that I use a double setup. You need 2 of these stands. It doesn't have to be the C-stands, but I really like them because they're really sturdy and then you attach a rod in between of those, so you have like a frame where you can put your camera on. But instead of using a tripod plate, I chose a magic arm. So it's something you just really attach like this, and you have a lot more flexibility when you're changing setups. Now, the last thing before we can actually go to shooting is like picking the lighting that we're gonna use. When I started out, I was like on a really tight budget, so I used window light. It's free, it's great, but you're limited to time and day. So I picked up a really cheap lighting setup. It was 2 of these boxes, soft boxes. As you can see, 200 bucks something. So when you're starting out, this is a great start as well. Just make sure that they're not flickering too much if you're doing video as well. But since we were doing this in a studio, we had a little bit more room to play, and they actually had like real photography studio lighting gear. Flashes, and they're triggered by that one. They're triggered here, so everything gets here in the same shot. So it's professional, so why not use it? I opted for like really soft light. So the light would come from the top, and you would have like a really soft shadow going, nothing too harsh, to draw focus to the subjects, the items that were on the floor. To do this, we actually pointed the lights upwards to the ceiling, used the ceiling as a bouncer to get like the even ambient light, just as you would be like outside. There's a lot of things that you can play around with. So lighting is really essential. Just make sure you plan that before you start shooting. I also wanted to include a few extra things that makes your life a lot easier, and I picked it up along the way of, well, making mistakes mostly. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is using a remote. I really don't care. For me, even this, just a one-click button remote is more than enough. Just needs to get the shot. Something else is a monitor, which is going to help you a lot, because most of the time you won't be able to see the screen of your camera itself. So attaching a monitor like this, or a small HD, whatever helps for you to just make your composition, and then being able to like monitor if it's right or not without touching the camera, just to keep it still. I don't know how you call these poster buddies, like wall gum, whatever you call it. This is your friend. Believe me, this has saved me so many times. When you have a lens or something that's a rolling object, you can put this below, make sure it stays in its place. You have cables, they're like, they have their own way. It's really cheap, and it's one of the best things that I used in doing all of these overhead shots. And then last but not least, patience. A lot of patience. Can take you up to a day to set up a shot. Just give it the patience that it deserves, and make sure that you check everything to see if everything is lining up great. Yeah. Okay guys, and that's it for this video about gear spreads. Now I want you to do something. If you have like a favorite kit of gear that you're using right now, make a picture, make a gear spread yourself, and tag me in that at Tom's Odyssey on Instagram, and just show me all of the stuff that you're doing. I just want to see all the stuff that Team Odyssey is up to at the moment. Besides that, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if you have any requests for other videos. I will see you in the next one. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening here on the channel. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be epic. It's all about creativity. So lately, I've seen a lot of bullshit on the internet. It's about YouTubers being paid, and everyone wants to know how we monetize our videos. Well, truth is, if you're a small creator, you don't earn that lot of money through AdSense or stuff like that. You have to work for that, because we all need to eat at the end of the day, no?